What a time to be alive, Pool B Week 5. In the LLL, the Ubers UU Draft League that has been hopping and popping all over the scene, you already know. We're just gonna review all the games that we have, starting with Butter versus Dumpy Lump, and I gotta say, when the universe tries to screw you over with a Fleur Cannon miss on like turn 2, I thought Butter was gonna finally lose the game, because that guard jump looked so scary on first hand. Guard jump had an amazing matchup this match, but yeah, Butter coming out of top, even with that shitty luck in the beginning. Just a solid performance, again with the pivoting. We've seen this all season from him. A very good player when it comes to pivoting and getting his mons into places. Star Raptor unfortunately was dropped last week, and now his replacement Zeptos G had a chance to fill in his shoes, and man, did he deliver. Zeptos G really pulling up with 4 kills up in here. What a debut for him. But Dumpy with a guard jump, dude, things could have went sour if it didn't burn with Scald. It could have been very, very bad, but you know, it would have been very unfortunate. But you know, that could be the game, so could have gone either way, but I feel like a win for Butter is justified here, and it was a 3-0 victory for him. Next is Dino versus Uramas, and we're gonna start off this match with a very dominant Draco Meteor from the Cyclozar. We're not used to Cyclozar in an offensive role, but today it had to fill that offensive role, and it did, killing the Deoxys first turn. But, you know, the star in this match for me was the Colossal. First going for rocks, which was very important, and then going for the solar beam. Are you kidding me? Are you nuts, bro? Colossal really pulling his weight, even preventing a core change with that rapid spin. I love that play, by the way. Kind of underrated play, in my opinion. Another thing I want to mention in this match: how valuable is Cinderace this league? I know it's not per se winning matches every time, but it gets 1 or 2 kills every match, so that's very consistent for Uramas. Dino, dude, you were all over the place in this match. Like, I mean it in a very positive way. You were on top. This predict with the Scizor, that was such a fire play, bro. That was absolutely pivotal. And I just gotta hand it to you. Very solid match and a very deserved win for Dino. And that is a 3-0, by the way. And then we are heading into yet another match where the beginning of the match was very interesting. For some random reason, Arbok, that mom was putting in work. Again, it's not even the first time this season. Arbok getting 2 kills in this match with a very cool Terra Dark coil set. Loved seeing that early game. And actually pressuring Modi into Wi-Fi into going for the Sarita play, kind of rushing him, trying to force a rapid spin. And I get that. They want to get rid of the hazards because it was very annoying. It prevented Zacian from really getting out of hand, so gotta give props to it where props is due. But of course, we all know how this match ends. This match ends in 5 kills for Dragonite. I feel like it's the first time this season where Dragonite really did a lot of work. Like last week it could have done a lot of work, I believe, but this week it really shone. It got 5 kills, like I said. Zacian could dent the team, but Dragonite broke it. So that's a 4-0 win for Wi-Fi over 7 God. And let's talk about Kine versus Aloxim. Dude, this match was absolute fire. It was very hard to pick between this and the winning match of the week. I just gotta say, I know everybody and their mother is gonna hype up that Bramblegast, and yeah, sure, I'm the sucker for underrated and unranked or whatever mons. But for me, I really loved seeing Iron Moth this match. And yeah, Iron Moth had a good matchup, but it just did a lot of pre-work. The real dents in the team, of course, were from the Bramblegast, but I feel like we should not ignore how good Kine played at Iron Moth in the beginning of the game. It was very good and a very cool bring. Evolog Simp, dude, sometimes I thought like, he is actually gonna pull through with that TR, because Kine really did not fare well against that TR, but that's the thing about Trick Room, though. It ends, and when it ends, it ends sour. This endgame was very interesting as well on the SD, on the Earth Power. Yeah, that was a 50-50. It was a very enjoyable match, and I know that 50-50 that's kind of sour to lose on that, but Avalok Simp, don't be disheartened because you played very well, and it was a very entertaining match, dude. Yeah, I gotta say that. It's a 2-0 win for Kine. But now we be pulling up to the battle of the week, and in this case is Crayons versus Mozo. Just gonna gloss over the teams real quick.
With that Necrozma, Ursaluna, Meowscarada, Heatran, Gengar, Smeargle, Deoxys D, Donphan, and Hariyama versus Mozo and his Dialga, Greatusk, Latios, Primarina, Mol-Tres, Pecharunt, Brewbonnet, Cutiefly, Chestnut, Shaman, and Kilowattrel.
Very interesting matchup at first glance, because Trick Room, I feel like for some random reason Mozo could actually deal with Trick Room. Dialga is one of those mons that can actually go Trick Room itself if it wants to. Same goes for Brewbonnet. Is Trick Room the beneficial playstyle this match, or are you gonna pull another trick up out of your sleeve? I just gotta say, Ursaluna at the first hand, dude, Ursaluna looks like it's gonna take lives though. In combination with that Necrozma, there is just not a lot that can actually deal with that. If you look at Primarine for example, you can tailor it so it can actually tank some hits from that Necrozma, but in combination with a physically offensive ground type, that's kind of rough, bro. That's kind of rough. That's just a solid combination. So I do feel like they have to bring Trick Room, even though it does not, speed-wise, I feel Mozo has a way out in that sense. But of course, that Trick Room is gonna come. I feel like Deoxys D is the one that can actually provide it for them. So that's probably the combination we're gonna see right here. Smeargle does not have the best matchup with Spore and such, because there are just a plethora of grass types. So don't know what he is gonna do with that. Heatran could be a fun little mon, but Heatran's matchup is like 50-50. I do see something like a Gengar coming. I know the trick set, it's not the best. It's mainly just a Specs or a Scarf set. Downside is Latios, same speed tier, kind of nasty. But I do feel like if you want to risk that, Specs Gengar can actually do a lot of work this match. So Crayons has some very excellent options in and outside of Trick Room. While Mozo, like I said, that bulky Dialga that can actually potentially go for a counter Trick Room, I feel like that's a very solid bring. Primarina has to come for me. I feel like Greatusk is that must bring. Pecharunt is actually a very interesting matchup, where I feel like it has a very shitty matchup versus a Gengar or a Necrozma or a Meowscarada, so a lot of bad matchups, as well as Deoxys D, not to mention. But it has to come for that Ursaluna, and it has to Terra, I believe. That's the only thing can really comfortably, outside of Greatusk, tank those hits. But Greatusk kind of wants to do other things, offensively, for example, or just overall glue. So I feel like Pecharunt is gonna come. Another very good bring could be that Chestnut. Chestnut has not done that much this season, but is a very cool matchup versus a Meowscarada, versus a Ursaluna. So I feel like Chestnut is for sure gonna come. So I kind of expect, once again, that Mozo is gonna be bringing a sort of bulky team to kind of try to withstand that Trick Room momentum. And the question is, who's gonna win? That offensive momentum that Crayons is gonna bring, or that defensive perspective that Mozo is gonna bring? Or am I completely wrong with my matchup? I don't know. Let's just look at the teams. And one thing I gotta say, did not expect Mozo to not bring Primarina, because Primarina has some cool tricks up his sleeve this match, but that's the first thing I just noticed right off the way. Gengar as well not coming. I expected it. Perhaps they just don't want to get sucker punched by Brewbonnet. So already some things that I did not expect by looking at the teams on paper. But yeah, that's always very interesting, seeing something that you did not expect. But let's just dive into the big juicy match. Yeah, let's go. It's the Smeargle lead. Something I did not expect at first glance. But Greatusk, holy crap. Expecting a Spore, that's actually wild, bro. Behind a sub, that's very interesting. Already getting rid of that rapid spin. So I kind of feel like this Greatusk is just meant to be that dedicated lead. Seeing as Smeargle does not do anything against it, so it's probably more of a speedy set. It's Deoxys versus Brute Bonnet, not a very beneficial matchup. Brute Bonnet being able to chip down at Heatran, which is never a bad thing. Mol-Tres being trapped with that Heatran, two fiery buddies duking it out. Scorching Sense though, ending that matchup, and I don't know why Crayons did not really switch out there. Perhaps they had a rock move on deck, but again, a very cool bring. Perhaps it's also a speed invested Mol-Tres. Mozo perhaps bringing more speed than I expected this matchup, but do mention, holy crap, Smackdown? Very cool bring. Did not really think about Smackdown being a thing, but yeah, great. Love seeing that. Now we pull up with a Chestnut versus a Deoxys, missing that lead sheet, kinda unfortunate because that chip on Deoxys would have been excellent. Dio being kind of annoying this matchup for Mozo. There's nothing that really wants to dedicate itself to it, but Dialga, a very cool momentum bringer. Love this interaction as again Chestnut being brought as an Ursaluna answer. Seeing how much Headlong Rush actually does. 70% is not a lot. It's not enough to break a potential sub. And behind the sub, Chestnut can actually go for a lead sheet right here if it wants to. And of course it does want to. Kind of chip down that Necrozma. Who is coming in for Chestnut? Brute Bonnet is coming in. And a good expected. Yeah. I just want to mention, I do agree that Terra Ice, very cool bring. Looking at it like, oh yeah, offensively, Ice and Ground actually does a lot for his Mozo's team. But not being able to outspeed Brute Bonnet is kinda unfortunate, bro. It's kinda unfortunate. But, yeah, that just sucks. Donphan inside of Trick Room, offensively with that Terra Ice and a Ground move, could have done a lot of work. But now, we have a problem at our hands. Perhaps this is a Guts Ursaluna, perhaps it is not a Guts Ursaluna, I don't know what. It does not get the Body Slam para on the Dialga here. Probably want to go for a ground type move, and it is going for the ground type move on the Dialga. Dialga slowly but surely chipping it down with that burn damage, going for sub after the sub. And I don't know why Mozo wants to pressure this so much. Perhaps he just wants to go for a move right now with that lower defense and try to take it out right there. And it is exactly what they are going to do. Dialga picking up another kill right here. But now the big two legends facing off versus each other. And Necrozma barely missing out on that kill. Getting more chip on it, which it does not appreciate. That's damage that he did not want to take per se. Mol-Tres being a very safe pivot. Potentially going for a Rose right here. A little longevity. But instead opting for that flamethrower. And look at that. Is that not a Deoxys D? That's a bulky mon taking 50% from a flamethrower. That is an offensive Mol-Tres if I've ever seen one. It looks like it, but yeah, very cool Mol-Tres bring right here. Dialga being sacked off versus that sidekick. Deoxys really proving himself a thorn in Mozo's side, but now going down to him. And I feel like at this point, Mozo has the game. They have a sleeping Donphan in their face. Not even doing 50% to that Great Tusk. Easily taking it with a crit and a Yachi. Getting a lot of damage on the close combat. Little Tusk taking out Great Tusk though. Very fun interaction. But Mol-Tres once again able to threaten with a large amount of damage. Almost one-shotting Smeargle. And Smeargle not being able to outspeed Mol-Tres. A very different bring that I expected. It doing a lot of damage. Going down right here to the legend. That is Necrozma Duskwing, but at this point it's game over because Brute Bonnet can clean up right here with a large amount of damage versus I Like Eating Crayons. And that is game. It's a 3-0 victory for Mozo. Why did I pick this match? Because out of all of these matches, I feel like this is one of those matches where I did not predict one single set right. I did not really think about that cool lead set with a Great Tusk. Really love that set. Did not think about a offensive Mol-Tres or just a more offensively orientated. Didn't stop to think that Ice and Ground was a very excellent bring in this match. So that Donphan could have done way more damage than I anticipated at first hand. So just a lot of things that I didn't think about at first glance. It was just one of those matches where there were a lot of things that I did not expect to be going on. So yeah, a very cool match. Really loved seeing these players, and I genuinely want to just highlight, I love seeing every single one of those matches from these players thus far. These two players might be some of my favorites to watch, just not gonna lie. And they put up a very entertaining show right here. And with that show being over, I am going to take a look at the standings for you guys. And at the time of this recording, we have every single match concluded in week 5, which is always fun. Mozo and Butter still going undefeated, while Wi-Fi is really picking up momentum right now. Same as Kine. Kine lost to the first 2 matches, won 3 matches in a row, so great job. Crayons, Avalox Imp, Raposi, and Dino also right now in the playoff spots. Dumpy not following with a very large distance, while Euromas and 7th God, 1 win. Kinda need to pick up momentum, guys, if you really want to have some chance at the playoffs. Well, Sword, I believe, is finally put out of his misery and is eliminated from playoffs right now. But, you know, I never really cared about not being into playoffs, because the fun thing about being out of playoffs, there's a lot of pressure off your shoulders, and the fun thing is you can really focus on making the lives of your opponents miserable, because you know there are a lot of players that can still get to playoffs, and you can just mess around and try to knock them out of playoffs, which is always a fun thing to do. So, but that's the standings for now. While I take a look at the Mon of the week, and there are just so many Mons that I can go for. Once again, I really wanted to go Zetos G. I really enjoyed it this week, but just the unexpected nature of that offensive Mol-Tres, yeah, I gotta go for Mol-Tres. A very interesting bring this week, and just something that took me by surprise once again. Loved seeing it, and really underestimated the power that Mol-Tres has within itself. So yeah, that's the Mon of the week as well. And that is just me wrapping up the video right now. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.